As a family of 6, we eat a variety of things ranging from super convenient to breakfast for dinner to some meals that are a little more time consuming. So today I'm gonna share a mixture of those with y'all. Hey guys, my name is Vanessa and today I have a few clips of what we had for dinner over the past 2 weeks. So I kind of just wanted to show you guys some of the more like yummy meals that I prepare, in my eyes at least, down to it's the middle of the week but convenient is key for this specific night. So I have a mixture of things that I want to share with you guys. Breakfast for dinner is a must pretty much once a week for my family of 6, so I've got a little bit of that in there for you guys too. So let's just jump right into this what's for dinner for my family of 6. All right guys, so for tonight's dinner, I'm actually showing you before I prepare anything because breakfast for dinner nights get a little crazy around here. Everybody kind of places their own order. So I will probably have to get another container of eggs out from the garage fridge. There's only 6 left in here, just depending on what kind of eggs. If everybody wants scrambled eggs, then I normally cook up a whole dozen. But sometimes people will ask for like over medium or something like that where the yolk is still a little runny. So we'll see what everybody's egg order is, but sometimes I do cook a couple different kinds of eggs, and then I pull out everything that we have breakfast wise that is not a Pop-Tart or cereal. Those are 2 items that we don't allow. I don't want to say allow, it's just those are not the things that we eat when we have breakfast for dinner. We have like the homemade and baked goods and stuff like that, not cereal or Pop-Tarts. So I am glad I did a little bit of prep because I actually have extra items. Typically we just do like eggs, and if we have bagels or we'll cook up some bacon or something like that, but I feel like we have more for this week to pick from. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys everything that we have, but typically when we do breakfast for dinner, we do eggs with cheese and peppers. And then sometimes if we have hash browns, we'll do hash browns or some kind of potato. We'll cook up some bacon. And then if we have any pancakes or something like that, we have that as well. So like a big old breakfast spread. So we've got our eggs, cheese, peppers. I do have some bagels, hash browns, some bacon, and then these are blueberry muffins from the Southern Keto Cookbook. They are a family favorite. And then I also meal prepped some chocolate chip pancakes, and these are the Birch Benders paleo kind. And then this is the syrup that we use as well. So this is our spread for tonight. Everybody's probably gonna eat a little bit of everything, but I figured I would just show you guys the overhaul because it's about to get crazy in here, everybody putting in their order. But if you guys love having breakfast for dinner as much as we do, we've been putting it on the menu for once a week for several weeks now, leave me a breakfast food emoji in the comments. All right, you guys, for tonight's dinner, I'm hoping it is fairly easy. And I am going to use the air fryer. So I've got some pork chops here, and typically with pork chops, I like to sear them first on the stove, but everything that I read, because the air fryer is still very new to me, so I'm like just looking up recipes to try and things like that. So for this time, I wanna try to cook them without searing them. So I'm not gonna do that because nothing I read suggested searing them first. So I'm just going to get them in the air fryer, and I'll show you that when I do that. And then I am going to use this Parmesan Asiago dip as a kind of top for them. And then if you guys watch my weekly grocery hauls where I share the meal plan, I was going to do green beans on the side, but I saw these 2 and I was like, you know what, that sounds good. So I pulled these out to go with dinner instead. So I've got some organic greens here. It's got a mixture, obviously, of all green veggies. And then I know my kids are gonna pick out like the green beans and the broccoli from this. So I have these as well, the veggie tots. We have not tried these yet, so I don't know if my kids are gonna like them, but we are going to cook these up as well. Okay, so since I am going to use the air fryer for the pork chops, I'm gonna cook the veggie tots in the oven. So that is gonna take a little bit, so I'm gonna get this started first, where's the directions? Here we go. Preheat oven to 450 and bake for 15 to 18 minutes. So I'm gonna start my oven. Okay, so my oven is preheating and I'm pretty sure I can just, yeah, this is microwavable. So I'm totally gonna do that. They're already seasoned and all of that, so that will be the last thing that I do. But first, before I put these in the air fryer, I am going to season them with pepper, salt, and whenever I'm doing pork chops, I like to use smoked paprika. So I just feel like that goes really good with pork chops. So I'm just gonna season that side for now. All right, I'm going to get my pork chops in my air fryer, the seasoned side down. That way I can season this side. Is that a piece of fuzz? Oh my gosh, how did that get in there? I swear I cleaned it last time I used it. Something must have just flown in there. All right, let's move these so I can fit. These are kind of bigger, but yeah, I'll definitely be able to fit all 4 in there. Yay. Okay. So, and we are a family of 6, but my younger 3, so my oldest daughter does not eat meat. My younger 3 like pork chops, but they're not huge fans. So I know that I can split these 2 between the 3 and they'll be fine. Like they won't ask for it anymore. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and season the top with the same 3 seasonings: the pepper, the salt, and I mean, obviously I'm not measuring, I'm just shaking it all over. I'm gonna get this in here, but I'm not going to start this because the one that I'm gonna try, the suggested time is cooking it at 400 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to wait until the oven is preheated for the tater tots, since the tater tots are gonna take about 15 minutes. That way I can start them both at the same time. Okay, oven is preheated. Here are what the cauliflower tots look like out of the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these in for 15 minutes. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here. My pork chops are in here. I'm going to up the temp to 400. And I'm going to flip these. So I'm gonna do about 14 to 15 minutes total. So I'm gonna do 7 minutes. And then I'm going to flip them and do another 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, time is up. Those look pretty good. Definitely not done. So I am going to flip them. I know some people say you don't need to flip them, but I feel like you do. If you want them to be crispy on both sides. Oh, this is harder than I thought. Okay, because you can see there, I mean, that's very, very gooey and more raw looking, whereas the top, you can see it's getting a nice little crisp on it. So I do prefer turning my things so far, the items that I have cooked in here. Now, not everything I feel like you need to turn, but I do feel like it just, even though it's got the holes and everything, the heating element is on the top. So that is where most of the heat is coming from. So yes, I am going to be a flipper. So let me get this back in here. And power, we need to go back up to 400 and then back down. I'm gonna do 7 because then after this 7 minutes is up, I'm going to put this on it. I've left this out of the fridge just because it was nice and cold, but I don't want this to be cold on my pork chops. So once this 7 minutes is up, I'm going to put a little scoop of this onto each pork chop and put it back in. I'll probably keep it at 400, but do like 2 minutes just to heat it up and get it nice and toasty. Okay, a timer went off for the cauliflower tots. I'm going to leave them in the oven so they stay warm. I'm just going to turn the oven off. And then the air fryer just went off at the same time. Oh, do you hear that? All right, so I am going to check the temperature on these. And I used to cut my meat to see if it was done. But then I got this handy dandy little tool, but I don't have all the temps memorized yet. So let me check on that. Hey Google, what temp does pork need to be done?
Here's a summary from the website pork.org. May 24, 2011 new cooking guidelines from the nation's food safety agency confirm pork checkoff research that shows pork can be consumed safely when cooked to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, so that one's done. Let's check this one. It's a little more juicy. These are definitely, I probably could have cooked them a couple minutes less. So I'm just gonna go ahead and check all of them just to make sure. But yeah, this makes it so much quicker than cutting them in half and looking. Now I know for sure they are all done. And when you cut them in half, it kind of ruins it for if you're adding anything extra. So I am going to not cook it at 400 degrees since they are well done. But I'm going to put a scoop of this on each. I feel like this is gonna be good. I might keep this out on the table to use on top of the veggies as well. So I think I'm gonna do this at like maybe what, 350? So they smell really good. And I'm glad to know that they are done. So that was pretty easy, you know, versus just cooking them in the oven if I needed it for something else. All right, so back to the power. I am gonna go down, we're gonna go down to 350 and then we're gonna go down all the way to 2 minutes, and just to heat up this a little bit. So while that is going, I am going to get my greens in the microwave, and I wanted to show you guys, so this is the size of one bag. We are a family of 6. My oldest daughter eats a lot of veggies, like she bulks up on veggies versus my younger 3, so I am gonna go ahead and heat up 2 bags. It says to heat them up for 5 minutes. So let me go ahead and get these in the microwave. Okay guys, I wanted to show you my plate. I cannot wait to dig in. I have already tried, well, I tried it cold, the dip that we put on top of the pork chops, and I know it's gonna be fantastic on top of the pork chops. And then I took a bite of the seasoned veggie mix, and super good. However, I'm gonna show you guys my layout here in a minute. We might need to cook a 3rd bag. So as far as like cost, I don't know if we'll pick that up every time from Costco, but it does smell really good, tastes good, and I like the mixture of greens in it. So this is my plate. I have not made the kids' plates yet. They're still upstairs. So I'm gonna call everybody down. I keep them upstairs whenever I'm filming just because it would be chaotic down here. So I like to plate mine. That way you guys can see what it looks like. I did have Pearl come down and take one of the tater tots to let me know what she thought of it, and she said it was good. It doesn't taste like a tater tot, but she'll eat it. So hopefully the other 2 will. She's definitely the one that likes to try new foods, so we'll see about the other 2. But these are the tater tots. I'm not having any tater tots. I'm saving these for the kids because that bag was fairly small. Here's the pork chops you guys already saw on my plate, and then here's what 2 bags makes. And since we are a family of 6, I don't know if this is gonna be enough or not. So we'll see after I make everybody's plates if I need to heat up another one. But that is what 2 bags looks like. And then I'm leaving this out just to have the kids taste a little bit, and if they want it with their veggies, they can have some extra. We do have some chips left over from Super Bowl as well, so if they wanted to just eat this up, because it's only got about 2 days left on it, so we need to eat it. It was in the back of the fridge and I completely forgot about it. I wonder if I could freeze this, if I could go ahead and just cover it back up and stick it in the freezer. I might try that. And then yes, I have ketchup out for the tater tots or the cauliflower tots to get the kids to eat that. So that is our spread, and that's what we're having for dinner tonight. This is kind of just items I had in my pantry that I wanted to throw together. I did a few different searches, so I will have this recipe linked down below, and hopefully it turns out because it's a couple different things. So I am cooking some gnocchi right in here, which is kind of like a potato noodle. So I've got some of that in there, and then I need to get, first off, I need to turn this down. This is gonna be my first time using my cast iron skillet that I got for Christmas, and I am going to put this in the oven also. So I'm gonna try that out. That seems really loud. So I got some avocado oil in here and 2 pretty small zucchinis that I'm surprised are still good because I've had them for a while. So I've got them in here. I'm gonna cook the zucchini up for maybe about like 5 minutes in here. Then I'm also gonna add some garlic and salt and pepper to flavor the zucchini. After about 5 minutes, I'll add in the seasonings and all of that. Okay, my gnocchi is done. I'm gonna save some of the pasta water, and then I'm gonna drain the rest. I did add the garlic, salt, and pepper to my zucchini, and that is done. So I'm actually going to use the skillet for something else to finish putting the dish together. So I'm going to just take the zucchini out and plop it onto a plate for now. Okay, so what I am doing now is I have some marinara sauce in here. I am letting this heat up. Then I am going to add the gnocchi in there. And then depending on if the sauce completely covers the gnocchi, I might have to add some of the pasta water. So that's why I saved some of that. I'm also going to add some butter in here. I love adding butter. I got that tip from HelloFresh when I used one of their meals. They added butter to their marinara sauce and it made it so creamy. It was really good. So I'm gonna do that as well. And then I'm going to add the zucchini on top, and I need to grab the mozzarella cheese. So I'm gonna add mozzarella cheese also. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all set up. I'm just waiting. Yeah, it's starting to bubble a little bit there. Yep, so this should be nice and heated through. So let me set all this up and then I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do next. All right, so I've got the sauce, the gnocchi, the zucchini. I added a little bit of extra salt and pepper, and then I sprinkled some mozzarella cheese on top. Now I'm gonna put this in my oven. It is on broil, and just for about 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to wait for the cheese to get nice and bubbly and maybe a little light brown. Okay guys, I cannot wait to dig in. I know this is gonna be delicious. Some of my kids might pick out the zucchini, Bryce and Rose, but I bet Pearl will eat it. So what I did was I had it in the oven under the broil, and then I also had some ricotta cheese that I needed to finish using up. So I mixed that in a bowl with a little bit of avocado oil, salt, pepper, and then I have some fresh parsley that I mixed into the ricotta, and then the rest of the parsley, and I had some chives I just put on top. But oh my gosh, that looks so good. And then I had some French bread in the freezer that I took out last night. So I just made a little, I melted some butter, I used some fresh garlic, and I put that on the top, and then I just stuck this under the broil as soon as I put this out, and then I just cut it up. And this is what's going to be for dinner tonight. Yum, yum, yum. This was like shopping my pantry and getting some inspiration. So I'll definitely have this recipe written out in the description box for you guys. All right, guys, keeping it real. And I almost didn't include this into a What's for Dinner clip, but I figured I would show you guys that yes, we eat a very convenient and like this sometimes. So this is actually in the middle of the week. My husband had to go out of town, and I was like, you know what? We're just gonna have a fun time. So the kids are gonna watch a movie, and we are eating pizza, and this is their absolute favorite. Like, they loved the DiGiorno. I purchased a different brand. I don't remember what it is now, but they love the DiGiorno stuffed crust. So of course, like the most expensive, actually, I'm sure there's more expensive pizzas out there, but this is not cheap, but they love it. So the 2 for the 4 of us is gonna work out just perfectly. Rose loves cheese pizza, and then Bryce has just begun to love like the 3 meat, but Pearl loves the 3 meat. So this is kind of the 2 kinds that we typically get. We get a cheese, and then we get some kind of meat pizza, and this is what we eat. So yeah, this is what's for dinner tonight, you guys. Okay, I am so excited to finally be making this cowboy queso. So I have 16 ounces of Velveeta cheese that I cut up into cubes. I also shredded about ½ a cup of pepper jack cheese. Then I'm adding in ½ a pound of ground beef that I cooked up, and then I did season it with some taco seasoning. A whole can of Rotel. I did not drain it, just opened it up and dumped the whole thing in. And then this is a whole can of black beans, and I did drain and rinse these. Then we've got about a 1/4 cup of red onion that I diced up, as well as a 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro. And this is what I kept forgetting to pick up, some pale ale. So I finally got some, and I'm adding in about 3/4 cup. Now we're gonna finish it off with a little salt and pepper, and just a little bit of red pepper flakes. This really just depends on how spicy you want your queso to be. I'm gonna mix it up just to get the ingredients combined as well as I can before we start the cooking process. This smells so good, and I haven't even turned the crock pot on yet, you guys. So for this, you could cook it on high for 2 hours. I'm going to cook it on low for about 4 to 5 hours. All right, I am popping in here halfway through, so it's been about 2 hours. And I wanted to mix it up now that the cheese was all melted. It smells amazing. I would definitely double this if I was cooking it for a crowd. Yum, I cannot wait to try it. Okay, queso is done for taco night. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of our dinner together, but it's just typical taco meat and shells and all the fixings. So I really just wanted to share this new recipe with you guys today. I've had it saved for a long time and was really looking forward to trying it. I already had some. I actually tried it with both a chip and a pork rind. I am actually not a huge fan of pork rinds, but my husband loves them. I do prefer chips, even though they're not the healthiest option, but they're so good. I definitely loved it, and I love the scoops for thicker quesos like this. So yummy. So I've got my crock pot on warm. I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of dinner ready, but I really wanted to share this with you guys. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below if you want me to keep sharing these with you. It is a little bit more difficult for me to film at night versus recipes that I prepare during the day while my kids are at school, just because it is a little crazy in my house. With us being a family of 6 and all kind of enjoying and eating different foods, dinner time is a mixture of things and it gets a little crazy. Also, I wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to y'all. This is going out on Friday, February 14th. So I hope whether you are single, have a big family, have a little family, whatever, I hope today is all about loving yourself and enjoying who you are. So happy Valentine's Day. If you guys are new, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and stick around, join our community here. Tomorrow's video, every single Saturday, I share a grocery haul, so that's what you're going to see. All right, I will see you guys in the next video.